So here it comes, товарищи, because Ukraine is expected to receive extended range missiles for HIMARS. And this will be literally the last nail in the coffin of Russian invasion. And while Russia is trying to create the second Chernobyl, Ukraine is absolutely successfully retaking territories both in the south and in the east. But more about all of this in a couple of minutes. What's up, investors? It's the Russian Dude and happy Friday. And as always, let's begin with map of the war update. First video comes to us from Nikopol, and as you can see, this night Russians were once again attacking the city with this mysterious weapon. And last time we were able to establish that most likely this is thermite. In addition to that, Russians were also doing regular artillery strikes against the city, and unfortunately as a result, a bus station was destroyed. Our next stop brings us to Nova Kakhovka, where as you can see from this picture, Ukrainians were able to destroy military positions of Russians. And if we go a little bit to the north across the river, as you can see, there is another military position of Russians being destroyed in the city of Bereslavl. And in response to that, Russians continue their unfortunately routine shelling of the city of Mykolaiv. And because of this, the head of Mykolaiv region, Vitaly Kim, has announced a curfew, which starts 11 PM this Friday all the way until midnight Monday. So if you are watching from this region, please stay at home. And before we talk about another Russian politician whose work was very unsatisfactory to the government and somehow suspiciously he got poisoned, here is a quick update about Odessa and its shipments of grains. In the beginning of this week, the very first ship with Ukrainian corn has successfully left this port. And today, as you can see from this video, 3 more ships with approximately 57,000 tons of corn have left this port. And the final destinations of these 3 ships will be Turkey, Ireland and the United Kingdom. And just when you thought that hopefully these ships will be safe, we have yet unconfirmed information about another warship of Russia being destroyed or at least damaged next to Sevastopol. As you can see from this video, the ship is definitely on fire. And some reports claim that this ship was supposed to interfere with Ukrainian grain-carrying ships. Alright, and now let's talk about this Russian infiltrator in Kherson region who has most likely been poisoned. The person I'm talking about is Vladimir Saldo, and most likely due to his unsatisfactory work in the region, he was fired Russian style. And what I mean by that is being poisoned. At this very moment, this guy has been transported to the clinic in Crimean Peninsula. And right now, the doctors induced him into artificial coma. He's now being prepared for the transportation to Moscow, and his condition is very bad. In several seconds, I'll be talking about Russians trying to create the second Chernobyl in Ukraine, but first of all, here is one last quick update from the same region. And as you can see from this video, it has been reported that Ukrainians were able to destroy another military warehouse of Russians in the small city of Tokmak. Alright, so you already probably heard about Russians attacking the Zaporozhye nuclear power plant in Energodar. This nuclear power plant is one of the biggest in Europe, and this morning Russians attacked the industrial part of the plant. It has been reported that as a result of these attacks, electrical equipment has been damaged. And immediately, Russians obviously blamed Ukrainians for this attack. Which, to be honest, just think about this. Would you destroy the biggest nuclear power plant in your country just for whatever reason? I mean, the war will obviously be over eventually, but if you destroy it, you will contaminate the entire territory of your own country, or at least a very big part of it. But anyways, like I mentioned, the power plant itself has not been damaged, it was only the electrical equipment. And even though it is currently being repaired, it still possesses some threat. Because if you know the basics of how a nuclear reactor works, you will definitely understand. And if you don't, here is a very quick guide to nuclear reactors. First of all, we have this nuclear core and the temperature inside it is constantly rising. Because of this, you always have to cool down this core with just cold water. As a result, this water evaporates, creating the steam, and it rotates the turbines. And as you can already guess, this rotation creates electricity. But if you disrupt the electricity of the plant itself, this will stop the flow of water through the core. And because of this, the core will continue increasing its temperature until there is a nuclear meltdown. And that's the very basics of it. And so now if you feel like a nuclear physicist, or if you just like this style of daily updating, please consider liking this video and subscribing to my channel. But okay, before we talk about the situation in the east and Ukrainians successfully taking back their own territories, here is just a couple more words about this nuclear power plant. Because later today, unfortunately, Russians attacked this plant for the second time. And unfortunately, it has been reported that the building itself suffered minor damages. Alright, now let's talk about the east, and we go straight to the city of Donetsk. And as you can see from this video, it has been reported that Ukrainian army was able to destroy the train station inside the city. The next piece of news comes to us from Mariupol. And as you can see from this picture, Russians for some reason decided to have a concert with destroyed Azovstal factory in the background. And now let's talk about the counteroffensive of Ukrainians in the east. As of recently, there were no significant advancements from either sides. But if we zoom into this region, we're able to see that Ukrainians were able to take a little bit back territory next to Vesele. And just as a reminder, even though it does not look like a lot, Ukrainians were advancing almost every single day of this week. Besides that, Russians continued their attacks against Bakhmut and Solidar. And so far, attacks against both of these cities have been successfully resisted. It has also been reported that Ukrainians continued their successful counteroffensive in the region to the south of Izium. And right before I talk about Ukraine receiving extended range missiles for HIMARS and absolutely devastating situation for Russians in the south, here are a couple more words about Kharkov region. Okay, so unfortunately, Russia was once again routinely shelling this city. And as a result of these attacks, a bus stop was damaged. There are also several reports that the reason why Russians becoming so weak in the east, specifically in Izium region, it is because they're relocating some of its forces from Izium to Kharkov. So we might potentially see some activity in this region very soon. And here's something interesting. This night, probably drunk Russian soldier denazified a civilian building in Urazovo using his armored personnel carrier. And unfortunately, as you can see from this picture, the house suffered severe damages. And if you want to see more pictures like this, in addition to other war footage that I was not able to use in today's video, please consider joining my Patreon. And all the proceeds of my Patreon memberships will be donated to Ukraine at the end of each month. Alright, and now as promised, let's talk about the situation in the south, and let me tell you what, it's going to be even worse for Russians very soon. Because today it has been announced that the Biden administration is preparing another military support package for Ukraine worth of $1 billion. And besides other military vehicles and equipment, it is very well expected that Ukraine will receive extended range missiles for HIMARS. So right now, with existing HIMARS missiles with the range of approximately 50 miles, we can already see how dominantly Ukraine becomes. We see the reports of Russian military warehouses and military positions being destroyed every single day. And now, with the upcoming extended range missiles, even further targets will be open for Ukraine. And I'm not hinting or anything, or I'm not talking about any particular breach, but just look at this beauty right here. If you remember, literally yesterday Ukraine came back to this plan of destroying the Crimean Bridge, and one of the things they required to do this was the extended range missiles. In addition to that, the second thing which is required to successfully destroy this bridge and ultimately win this war is to destroy Russian anti-aircraft defense systems. And according to Alexei Arestovich, this is already happening as we speak. What he basically says is that Ukrainian aviation is able to fly above Kherson region right now with almost no or little to none obstacles, which is literally the direct confirmation that Ukraine has started executing its plan to destroy the bridge and win in this war. But hold on a second, Russia also got military support from another country. And what I'm talking about here is that Iran gave 46 drones to Russia. And yes, that's it. That's literally it. But I mean, yes, if you don't want to miss the attack on Crimean Bridge, feel free to join my Discord, because this is the place where you hear about it as soon as it happens. Welcome to another episode of Ridiculous Russian Propaganda. And today we have something actually smart, but funny at the same time. So you might remember that in the very beginning, when this war just started, one of the things that Russian government prohibited on the territory of Russia is to show these Western capitalistic movies. So basically, people were not able to see the Batman, but some cinemas, they decided to go forward and they renamed these movies to something like Flying Mouse Man. But anyways, more and more ways to avoid these restrictions has been found so far. And here is my favorite one. So right now, when you go to the cinema in Russia, you can buy a movie ticket for the Russian movie. And whenever you'll be buying this movie ticket, they will let you know that just before this movie, before the advertisement section, they'll be casually showing like 2 hours of Doctor Strange or any other Western movie. And so what basically happens is that people buy these tickets, they go see other high quality and I mean good movies, and as soon as the actual Russian movie starts, the whole entire cinema is basically empty. Genius! And if you also want to see my videos before I publish them for everyone and just in general support my work, please consider becoming my channel member. All the links can be found down below. Thank you so much for your attention, stay safe and see you on Monday.